Welcome to Tush Twins, heard exclusively on MalcolmPresents.com, a streaming network heard around the world, and where you get shows that no other stations in the world carry except Malcolm Presents.
Because
Anyway,
you're
Tush
the only
Twins,
one who would carry these crazy shows. That's
I
why.
know. Tush Twins, you're on.
Tush
Introduce
Twins.
yourself and
I'm
let's
gonna
get
do
started.
I'm gonna intro using the intro. I'm gonna intro. So
intro.
I'm gonna do the regular intro. I'm gonna read it. There it is in front of me. I always put it in here just in case I need to
Okay,
do this.
go for it.
Move over. Jane and Lily, who we adore.
Yes.
As Grace and Frankie. And the old standards, Lucy and Ethel, Laverne and Shirley, Thelma and Louise.
Yada yada yada.
None of them are around. Betty and Wilma will always be around. And Tina and Amy, luckily, yeah, they're kicking butt. So, but they have to be on guard. Of course, here come the
Tush Twins.
Tush Twins. That's us.
That's
and
us.
You know,
that's me. That's you.
That's me. That's you. That's you. That's me. And we have this.
Okay, I know we're not supposed to talk about it, but let's get it out of the way, and we won't go into any more details until we learn about the tragedy that happened in Israel.
And I can only say the thing that kept coming into my brain at this point, I was walking the dog, was the song "Where Have All the Flowers Gone?" And the line is, "When will they ever learn?
Yeah.
When will they ever learn?"
Ever learn.
And we have not learned. No one has learned. We still do things that are destructive and evil. And it seems the human race continues to contain individuals and whole forces of people who want nothing more than to have bloodthirst. And what happened in Israel is an example of that. And we will not let this stand. We will
never
support them
again.
Am Yisrael Chai. And what has happened is just there's no words. You'd say tragedy. You can say heartache. I mean, everything that comes to mind is just in your brain, and it doesn't leave your brain. And I was hoping to not really have to go into this today, and we're not going
to go into.
We're not going to go into. Both of you say something, because I already said something, and then we're going to go on.
I can't say anything because I'm heartbroken.
Okay, right, that's all.
I'm heartbroken. That's all I have to say is my heart, and I stand with Israel. My family helped support Israel in the very beginning. My father and his cousins were all gun runners and smugglers for Israel. I am brought up a Zionist, and Israel is my homeland, as many other Jews. And I am just heartbroken. That's all I have to say.
Well, we don't want innocent people
on both sides.
To have to deal with this and to be shields and to be what they want to do to them is incredibly insane. Okay. But anyway,
enough said.
So now let's try to make something lighter, which is a little difficult.
I don't know what we can really do light, but Malcolm and me and you, we're in our.
I'm 49.
We're 29, 30.
I'm 49.
We're 22.
Don't go there.
I don't know.
I told you when I got to 50, I stopped counting.
Yeah, well, again, my mom
stopped.
My mom, when I would ask her in her 90s how old she is, she would say 22. When I asked her when she was 100, I said, "How old are you, Mom?" And she said 22. And then someone stupidly said, "You're 100." And she goes, "No, I'm not." she goes, "What? No, I'm 22." And I'm like, "You're 22.
You're 22, Mom.
So, but there's
40 years.
What?
Then when I get to 100 in about 40 years, then I'll acknowledge it.
Okay.
Me too.
Me 3.
Until then, I'm just 50 plus.
All right.
I'm 49.
Yes, Jack. Or was that 39? Jack Benny.
39.
I'm 33. I like 33. Yeah. I like that number for some reason. But anyway, so it's very, it's upsetting that I don't know if this is just generational or if it's just worse than it's been, that there's ageism throughout the work environment, throughout just
In that way, it's
daily society, when they think you're, you
over
have
the
no
hill.
more value. You can't, nothing that you do or say is worth anything. You're over the hill. And if someone calls me ma'am again, I'm going to slap them silly,
Well, I don't know if ma'am was a sign of respect, or because I know my
It's a
wife has
sign.
that same thing.
I say
I think
ma'am,
it's
even
supposed
to
to be
people.
respect, but I also think it's an elder phrase, that you're an elder. I don't mind being an elder, but thank you, ma'am. It's never thank you, ma'am. It's like, okay, ma'am.
When Rusty
Why
goes
is
to sleep on
wham?
our show.
Yes, I'm tired, guys. It's a long day.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
It's a
telling
long
well,
day.
I knew when I was getting old, but growing up in New York, and I
you're not
passed
old.
the schoolyard, and there was someone hit a ball or a basketball, and I could pick it up. They say, "Hey, get the ball." And then as I was getting older, they said, "Mister, could you please get the ball?" They started calling me Mister.
Mister. Okay. Well, Mister.
And then now we go, I can't bend up. Can you get
Right.
the ball for me, please?
Listen, dude, if I bend down, I won't be getting up.
Get
Wait,
up.
ball.
No, I know I'm getting older, because when I start to bend down for something, inevitably someone that's about 30 says, "No, I'll get it for you." What the hell do you have to get it for me? I can get it for myself.
Well, I mean,
I'm on the train and no one offers me their seat yet. Damn them.
So you
yeah.
feel good.
I think the whole time I was pregnant, only one guy offered me a seat on a crowded subway.
Welcome to New York.
It was like, you having a baby? Tough shit. It's swishing back and forth. Tough crap. Whoops.
Yeah,
Can't say that. Anyway, so but when young man, he was a young man, and he just was very sweet, and he goes, you deserve the seat, and good luck with the bit. He was the sweetest thing. You wanted to
Aw.
hug the guy. I was like, he was
and,
adorable.
and the thing was, you
Aw.
weren't pregnant.
Really,
You're just a
really,
fat little piglet.
thank you so much. That really means a
Who
lot,
wouldn't eat
Malcolm.
pasta?
And I couldn't smell hamburger meat either. It would turn me off. There was a place called the White Horse Grill in Mount Kisco,
Oh
and
yeah,
they would smoke, and they would, like, the burger, it would come through like the
the
chimney
grill.
that they had. Yeah, the grill. And you can smell it when you turned into Mount Kisco on the main avenue there. If the window was open, I would just turn colors. Less, I said, you better turn around or you're gonna just not be a happy boy. So we would go. I said, you got to get out of this area, because I just can't. I can't go in there when they're doing the burgers. No way. It was crazy. But yeah, pasta, that really upsets you. You told my brother.
That upset me more than you.
Yeah, and what did you say? Mitch asked how you were doing, and then what did you say?
Oh, Maxine can't eat spaghetti or pasta. I'm so upset.
He was, what's wrong with her?
What's wrong? Is something wrong? Does she need to go to the doctor?
Jesus. I said, and Mitch tells me, he goes, well, the worst thing the redhead said is that she was upset because you couldn't eat pasta. It was like turning you off. But that only lasted until like the 6 months. And then I started, it was the big, the first 3 months are puke. Just
Well,
go
I'm
have
kind of
men
lucky
go
then.
men go have babies. Go ahead.
But you know what? Ageism, talking about ageism, our parents, when they were our age, they looked older back
Right.
then.
Uh-huh.
We don't look our age. We don't act our age.
I don't act my
We're,
age.
I
I,
know.
I look older.
No,
No,
you do not. You look your
fine.
age, Malcolm.
Mm.
You really don't. He
You
doesn't.
don't look your, no.
But
Look
I
my
don't
age.
feel my
Because I don't
age.
wear makeup and shit like you do.
yeah,
Well,
but,
yeah. I've
but,
been since I'm
anyway,
12.
do you look at old movies or
Mhm.
even old television series? When the guys are getting into their 50s, they're ready to retire.
Yeah,
Right. Right. Not now.
I know.
Because yeah, I will quote this. There was an interview, BBC News, of Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones. And they went through the whole thing that they have a new album coming out. You know, they have guest artists, Lady Gaga, and some really talented, terrific people on it. And they're over 60 years in the business. 60 years in the
Over
business.
60 there.
And
They're in their
so
80s.
so they
They're in their
asked,
80s.
the interview was like implying, like, how would you still do this? Why do you still do this? What is, you so he said, basically,
They can.
and then he said, and then the interview was like, is this going to be like your last hurrah or something? So this is what he said. In fact, rather than waving goodbye, the band are plotting to take their new music on the road next year if everybody is still standing. We're all in good fettle, means shape, says Richards. We're not looking at each other and saying, time's up. My answer is, I'm not Nostradamus. When he laughed, he said, of course, it's going to end at some time, but there's no particular rush. We're having great fun doing this. And that's what he said. He's just keeping on. He's enjoying what he's doing. He has no thought, of stopping until, as he said, he's not Nostradamus. He's keep going.
You look at his face, and he looks like about 97 because he
Right.
has all these deep lines.
And then he fell off like a tree or something. I mean,
but he gets on
Mick
stage.
Jagger fell off the stage.
Right.
Yeah.
But Keith Richards, he the article started where he has a little bit of arthritis in his fingers, and he said he has no pain. And I was telling Paula Rusty that he said he didn't have any pain, and he adjusted the way he plays certain chords, that he can play the same chords, but the fingering is a little different, which makes it easier for him. But he's such an amazing guy. He goes, I'll never, ever, ever learn the guitar. Like, basically, there's so much to learn on it that you can never learn the whole thing. Right. You keep on learning. That's what he said. Knowledge and learning, you just keep doing it. And
my favorite, Ghost Pirate.
Right.
Well, they had an interview a few years ago with Mick Jagger, and the person said, you're known for partying and you're known for, you're performing. They said, are you still good at, do you still do both? And he said, yeah, I still, I still perform and I still party, but not the same week.
Right.
No.
Well, that makes sense. You need a little
after
bit
the show, I go to bed.
Right. Yeah, he used to stay up, but now they go to, they go sleepy.
And maybe the next week when I have no shows, then I could do some partying.
Right. Well,
that's why he's still hot. And he just had open heart surgery
a few years ago.
And I think he was playing a few weeks after.
I think 3 or 4 weeks. They had, I think there was a news piece that he was in a studio in New York with all the mirrors, the dance studios, those very well.
Believe me, I know.
And he's practicing like a routine, a stage routine of him running, bouncing around the stage, and he's looking at the mirror. And he had 3 weeks prior, like an open heart valve with something replaced.
Yeah.
So my question is, what are they getting juiced with? William Shatner,
90-something years.
Does he look anything close to his age? No.
Well, he has a lot of Botox and facelifts.
No, it's not that. They get, and I think Cruz does too, they get the blood transfusions. The blood goes in, they get certain things with the blood, something with a blood thing, and they get infused with certain blood. And I don't know how that works, but it's something that, you need a lot of money for. And these people do. And I think, I can't be quoted, but I can't explain it any other way. Yeah, you can not look your age and look, younger, but he just, wow. And Tom Cruise is doing.
Tom Cruise does his own stunts.
He did a stunt in his last movie. I didn't see it. He goes over, I think, in a motorcycle or something, flips, and then is either on some parachute. I don't know. It's nuts.
And Harrison Ford also, but he
Yeah.
says, I'm just getting too old for this stuff.
No,
Yeah,
But
Harrison
he
Ford,
still
what is it?
did it.
No.
82, 83?
he got,
Yeah.
when he did the last Indiana Jones movie, there's scenes where he's riding a horse, or somewhere where he's
Mhm.
riding a horse. And basically they had the stunt double, that was going to ride the horse. And basically he implied, no, you're not. I can ride a horse. I'm riding the horse. Like, what?
But the
I'm
question is,
fine.
but
They're
did
afraid.
yeah,
They're
but did the
afraid.
insurance company say you're
Well,
riding a horse?
that's probably not, but he must have waived something. He must have signed something, that if I'm hurt, then that's it. But I mean, again, I don't know, but
Oh,
he
he's been
basically,
hurt in helicopters and
he crashed a
crashes.
plane.
Yeah.
He again,
His
and
poor
he
wife, what she went through those
with
2
him.
times.
Yeah, I know.
Poor Felissa.
Well, getting a little more personal, when did you guys first realize that you're getting older, or that people, not that you felt older, but that people perceived you as an adult or older?
I
I don't
don't.
You still haven't?
I still don't. I
I
went to a concert, a music festival, and I was partying with everyone else, dancing and singing along, and they all thought I was in my 40s and 50s.
Do
I
you
was having fun.
do you stand? The last times I went to music festivals, I stood up the whole time. Do you stand up the
I
whole time?
Well, we had chairs. You bring your own chairs to this, and they had some
Oh,
really
this,
cool bands. But this was under a tent because it was pouring, and we had some really cool rock bands. And all I wanted to do was get up there and dance. I danced from 2:30 to 8:30, nonstop.
at 2:30 in the morning to 8:30 in the
Afternoon.
morning?
No,
no.
no, I wish. Now those days are
We
over.
see
That I have to admit,
that's done.
those days are over.
Those days.
That is done.
I would
Well,
meet you I would go skiing. I'd wake up at 5:30, drive upstate,
Mhm.
ski all day, come back, grab something, and meet you at one of the
The
clubs.
Mud Club.
And then Peter and Helen would call. I mean, we'd go to
Chinatown.
or no, we'd go to Atlantic City sometimes.
Oh, yes.
It's 2 a.m. With no sleep, like zero sleep. And I'm like, now that, not more, not
Those
anymore.
days are over. Do you remember when Les would turn around and say, I want to play pinball? There's no pinball in New York State at that time. We had to go to Asbury Park.
Mm-hmm.
We
Asbury
drove
Park.
2 hours to Asbury Park from Queens from my apartment, and we would go down till it closed at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then
Oh,
drive
there's a
home and get
movie
something to
about that.
diner.
There's a movie about that out that you would love. Did you see it, about the pinball?
No.
It's about the guy who get reinstated in New York and in his life, and how he started pinball. And I got to get you the name of it. You would love it then.
Okay, because I've been playing pinball in New York now, in the city. They have
It's on
pinball parlors
right.
now.
Well, that's why you would go to Nathan's, to Yonkers, because it's Westchester.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Les would go to Yonkers when he was in med school. The stress reliever for him was playing Evel Knievel.
Yeah,
And he would
yes,
jump
I
in
remember.
the car and go to Nathan's, he wouldn't get dogs, he'd maybe get French fries,
French fries.
and then, get his hands cleaned up so he can go on the machine, and he would play the pinball machines for hours.
I remember
to
he and
get,
my ex-husband, they would
right.
play
Mark would go, they would
hours.
de-stress from work and
Mhm.
whatever. And that was a thing.
Well, I always got frustrated with pinball machines because every time I would play it, I always got tilt. You couldn't
Yeah,
tilt
'cause
it.
you- boom, boom,
I know.
You
boom.
you both would like this movie. I gotta see what streaming it's on.
Oh, definitely, I
It's
want to
about
see
the
it.
guy who got them to, get the
Bring
pinball in New York, back in New York, because he would play it. The guy, he played it. They found it in a sort of like a porn, not a porn club, but where they had girlies doing dances in the dark, place. And I guess it was porn. And they
Porn.
would have porn,
Porn.
whatever. And they would
Porn.
have one place had a pinball machine. It wasn't legal to be there,
No,
but he never went in to go in the back room. He went in for the pinball
to play
machine.
pinball.
That's what he told you.
No, no, this is there's a book. I think there's a book, and then it became a movie, which it's been loosely based on what it was. So,
I just love pinball. We all played
So-
it. My friends live in Highlands and we go for a couple of hours. Every time we down there, we go play pinball.
well,
Still pinball.
at E's bar mitzvah, we had to have pinball machines.
Yes.
We rented pinball machines for my son's bar mitzvah,
Mm-hmm.
and your godson's bar mitzvah, and
My godson.
we also had a giant pickle barrel from the pickle guys down in the Lower East Side.
Yeah,
Those are the two things we had to get.
I knew we'd think alike. For my son, both my sons' bar mitzvahs, I rented out a pinball machine.
There you go.
And games. Like we had part of the hall was just for the kids because I always
right. Yeah.
Because I always didn't like for bar mitzvahs when I was young. There wasn't an area for the friends
that's what
to
they
play.
do now. Yeah.
It was mainly for the adults. So we had a whole area where if you were a kid, you played knock the dolls down, all these games that they had in Coney Island type of thing.
We had a DJ for the kids who did, and then we had a blues band. And everyone was telling me they'd never been to a bar mitzvah with a blues band. So, and then we had the tokens performed. So I guess it was okay.
Oh, how much did you have to pay the tokens?
It was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine.
But
I enjoyed it. I think my husband, Dennis, enjoyed it more after too.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Well, after
Mitchell. Yeah, Mitchell.
Mitchell. They don't. Mitchell. Yeah, Mitchell. Mitchell. All right.
But you know
the head of our company. Okay.
You know how I realize when I'm getting older? Someone mentions it like 1990 or 19, someplace in the 90s, even in the 80s. And I said, oh, that was a little while ago, right? Because I remember certain things pretty distinctly. And then all of a sudden you say, 1990, that's 33 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
Or someone would say to me, I wasn't born in the 90s.
Yeah, there's a whole generation that were that wasn't 33 years old now that were born in 1990.
I was
in the 20s, they were born in the year 2000. Yep. I have a niece that was born in the year January 1st, 2000.
Ooh.
Yep.
But she's 24 years old.
Right. I had a kid.
She's graduated college. I mean, I remember when I was 24, I was old already.
Yeah, I was working with this really very smart young man at the local high school here last year on one of the boards I'm on, and so he goes, "Oh, your son went to Greeley?" I go, "Yeah." When did he graduate? And I said 2005, and he goes, "Oh, I might have just been born." I'm like, yeah, he was born in 2005, was 18 or something. I was like, holy crap, that hit me right there. That was like,
or when you're speaking to someone, that's in their 30s, and you tell them how old you are. He said, "Oh, that's my parents' age."
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's my parents' age. Yeah, a bunch of altacockers. I know, but a lot of women in film, there's a lot of ageism. It's not at the workplace, it's men and women, although women and minorities, I think, get really
I saw a movie with I forget the name of the movie with Richard Gere, William Macy, William H.
He's
Macy.
hot. He's hot.
Diane Keaton.
Okay.
And I forget the name of the movie. Okay. But they were all like in their either late 70s or early 80s.
In the movie or in the actors? Richard Gere. How old is Richard Gere?
I think he's like 82.
Richard Gere?
I forget.
No, he has to. Richard Gere. I would be like, what? He can't be. I don't think he's in his 80s yet. I think he's in his 70s. I mean, you have a lot of women who've been.
He's 74.
Yeah,
74. Okay.
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah,
he's still.
And I have to tell you, 74.
He's gorgeous,
God, he's still hot.
Yeah, he's.
Oh my God, I've had a crush on him since the beginning.
I've always had a crush on him.
I've had a crush on him.
Yeah, you can have a man crush, right?
He is. He's a year younger than Dennis.
Yeah, he's adorable.
And Diane Keaton
He's
was
so cute.
how
Oh
old
my
is Diane
God.
Keaton?
Yeah,
Diane
Diane
Keaton's
Keaton,
also in her
she's 70s.
70s, in her 70s. But a lot of the women, like, I was looking at articles like which women,
He's 77.
Diane Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in their 70s. But it was Dakota Johnson who did the Many Shades of Grey movies,
Right.
and is
Yeah, I've never seen them.
yeah, neither have
Never
I.
read the
She's
books.
Don
Never even read the
Johnson's.
book.
I don't know.
I read the book. The book is much
I
better
didn't
than the
read.
movie.
Yeah,
I didn't see. I
I
didn't
didn't
read
see
it.
it.
I
I
didn't
didn't
read it.
didn't do that. But there was a big deal. The books weren't really written that great, apparently, but they had enough scenes of you diddling your diddle that was enough.
No, but they did have the good parts.
Oh, okay. There you go. I can say diddling your diddle and get away with it. Anyway,
Because nobody knows what you're talking about.
well, I mean, some of these actresses, like Maggie Gyllenhaal, said that she was told by a producer that she was too old for a role, and she was 37, and the man playing the love interest was 55, and she was like, "What the heck?"
That's ridiculous.
But Dakota Johnson, she basically, and she's not. How old is Dakota Johnson? 30s,
She's
40?
in the
How-
30s. Her
She's
mom.
Don Johnson's daughter. I forget who's the
Right.
mother.
Don Johnson and what's her, Melanie Griffith.
She's 34.
Okay. So she said she feared for her future career even at the age of 26. She spoke about the cutthroat nature of Hollywood and how roles dry up for women past a certain age, referencing both her mom, working girl Melanie Griffith, and her grandmother Tippi Hedren. Tippi Hedren, okay? And their struggles to get work as they grew older. And Tippi talked about the lack of roles for older women due to the lack of screenplays with older women characters. They don't really find women who are getting older to be fascinating enough to make screenplays about. I mean, they just don't write those anymore, And Meryl Streep, I mean, the top Emma Thompson, Gina Davis, all these women talking about how
Helen Mirren, though, she is getting so much work.
She's still going strong.
Yeah, Helen Mirren is incredible.
Did she takes a role?
She just did
Golda.
But isn't she the one who also did she went down the runway or somewhere, she modeled something, like something, and it was a big deal. I think it might have been her, I'm not sure.
I just love her. I think she's amazing.
She's incredible, and they just, at that point it's just amazing that the two forces that are Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin are just incredible.
Well, they made their own shows. They did their own thing.
Well, because they luckily had enough connection and money to do that. The younger artists that are now getting older, like, I mean, Dakota Johnson, Maggie Gyllenhaal think they're like over the hill at this point. You can't just be 20 years old and it's just, I don't, I'm not getting how that is, but it's been that way for the longest time, right? It's not a new thing. It's something that's happening more and more and more. But which brings us to why we're talking about ageism. And today,
I don't have that problem. I'm not old.
President Biden gave quite a speech today about what was going on. And he has done amazing work, and they're after his butt because he's 88, whatever. And now,
78.
Oh, well, the other
he'll be 82.
Cheeto is 3 years behind him. So tell me what that difference is. And he has, but I don't want to get into politics, but
but going back to Richard Gere, I think he just had a baby.
Richard Gere?
God bless him.
I thought it was Robert De Niro.
I think it's
Robert De Niro just had a baby.
And Al Pacino, and they're both in their 80s. Malcolm.
Al Pacino.
You want to have a baby?
Richard Gere's
Tony
wife
Randall, he was
37.
What? What'd you say?
Richard Gere's wife is, I think,
Is she?
37, about 40-year difference.
Is he having a baby, Paul? Because I'm not on my phone. My
Richard
phone's
Gere, oh, look.
Yeah, I
I
think he
know-
just
I
had
know
one.
that Robert De Niro had recently had a baby. I mean, he's a grandfather. I mean,
But the question is it fair to the child?
No,
well, probably not, because unless you can live forever, that kid's only going to know you for a short time.
Right.
I
But he'll
mean,
have a lot of money to spend.
yeah, but even if they live to 100,
Yeah.
which is possible, so
Who
the
is
kid
Robert De
will
Niro?
know
Who is
for I don't know,
Richard?
but Robert De Niro is definitely in his 80s.
Yeah, but I don't think any of them are married. I think Richard Gere is married.
No, I
Richard
think they were
Gere's
Who is
married.
Richard Gere married to?
he's married.
Alejandro Silva.
Yes,
Well, everyone's
he's
looking at their
married.
phones here, but
Yes,
Robert De
but
Niro, who's he married to?
Oh, it's,
He
it's
just-
only 33 years
I don't know.
difference.
Robert De Niro.
I don't think Robert De Niro is married, or Al Pacino's not married. One of them is not married.
Let's see.
He just had. Did Tiffany Chen have a baby with Robert De Niro? Yes, he had a baby April 6th. It's his 7th child.
Oh my God.
And I don't know how old
He's not married at the moment.
De Niro.
Nope.
Oh my God.
Anyway, guys, speaking of what's it, it
Unbelievable.
used to be called May to December marriages.
Yes,
Yes.
that's true. And they would have a lot of movies like that too.
Well, I
right?
like that. So one of my favorite songs. It's a long, long time from May to December.
Yep, I know. I've
Yes.
heard of that song.
And I got and the days
Was
dwindle
that from a
down to a
movie?
precious few.
What movie was that from? I don't know.
September song. Well, that's a
That's
September
what I was
song.
thinking. Because on my mind I'm thinking of, September.
And you know who sang that?
Try to
Walter-
remember. Try to remember the
The
kind
kind.
of September.
No, actually, that
That's
was
from
from
the Fantastics.
Fantastics.
And also, there
Yep.
you go. That's it. See, I had the song, you had the show. That's why we work so well. You see, that's why we're the
I saw that
Tush
show
Twins.
like 10 times.
My
off-Broadway.
parents took me to that show.
That was the longest running
For-
off-Broadway
for
show.
one of my
Yes, it was.
birthdays.
It
It was
on
was.
McDougal Street,
was playing in the
Yep.
village, right?
Greenwich
My,
Village.
Mhm.
my parents took me
Anyway,
for my
guys,
birthday.
love to talk about the past and the future and what's happening, but it's time to say
Nanu.
goodbye. And hopefully we'll have better news next week.
Yeah, we
And to
shall
all the
see.
people in Israel, my heart goes out to you. And being a Zionist I am, I'm with you. I stand with you.
I stand with
Yeah.
I stand with
stand with
Israel,
Israel.
and I stand with the innocent people who
Yeah.
don't
I
deserve
I'm
definitely
on
either
stand
side
with
to
both
be
sides.
Innocent
be
people on both
innocent
sides.
people,
that
without a
can't-
doubt.
that can't-
Because it's amazing how that situation has been allowed to stand.
Yep. Well,
Anyway, guys,
we will see. Maybe,
have a good week.
Hopefully next week.
maybe-
You too.
Maybe they'll give peace a chance, but I
Maybe.
don't know. I
Wish
don't
me
know.
luck. I'm playing golf in a tournament tomorrow.
Oh,
Chill out, Leroy.
bye.
Good luck in your golf endeavors.
Yeah.
Thank you.
May you have a
Yay.
hole in one.
May you have a hole in
Right.
one. No,
Look
that-
out to God.
Somebody wants a hole in one. I don't
that's,
know.
that's another show. Bye.
Okay. Ciao.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Maine.